All right, I'm sorry about that delay. I already see some people that tuned in, um, and I was not on time. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I had unexpected company, right, to kind of pop up. Um, who is Green Eyes? He said, "Where's my bushes?" I am late. Please forgive me. I am late. Yeah. No, don't be worried, right? Don't be worried. I don't know if you all can come back in. I had Ripple SRP in, but I had company, unexpected drop in, and so took care of that. But I'm here. Don't know if I left a lot of you all stranded or if you all can come back in. But let me open with the 5 minutes of fame. Right, we're gonna go ahead and do that. I get into the 5 minutes of fame. We got St. Louis in the house, right? Let me put the clock on, the countdown timer on. So if you are new to my channel, right, I am known in the credit and the cash flow world as the queen of credit because I help people, right, repair, restore, and revision their credit from bad to good, good to great, and later using credit to create cash flow and investing opportunities, right? So let's get in. What I do is the first 5 minutes, I want to take time to get to know who you are, where you are from. I ask you to shout out your city and state. Uh, Gwen said, Gwen for Dallas said she was about to come find me. Do apologize for that, Gwen. I had some unexpected company to drop in on me, so I took care of that. So we're gonna get into the 5 minutes of fame, right? 5 minutes of fame. So I know Gwen is from Dallas, Texas. We have St. Louis in the house, right? Drop your city and state, and or just say hello, right? Just say hello. So I'm here now, Gwen. I'm here now. So, hey, Arvin. Arvin is, you guessed it, from Arvin, Georgia is coming in. We got Arvin in the house. Oh yeah, I have been forgetting to say my affirmations lately, right? I'm attracting people who are creative versus complainers, who hustle versus hate, right? And those who focus on prosperity versus poverty, right? So thank you so much. Auburn says he's financially free. That's the name of the game. Wants you to get financially free, right? Auburn says he's financially free. We have Charlotte, North Carolina. Mr. Wilson is in the house, right? Hello, y'all. Got that y'all going on. Silky Black. Love that y'all, right? If you're from the South, you gotta love that y'all. Um, Houston, Texas. Hello, Houston. Um, the screen is so colorful. Okay, thank you. Hello, Houston, Texas is in. You all make sure if you are tuning in on YouTube that you exit out of the live chat for me real briefly and gently hit that like button, right? Gently hit that like button. So let me get into the live chat. All right, 2 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. Um, we have Michael. Is it Michael Marshall from St. Helena, South Carolina? Right. So you all come in the room. Come on in the room. Say hello or drop your city and state. We got our 5 minutes of fame going in. Going to get into some topics today. Some more mass layoffs have happened, right? Some more mass layoffs have happened. Why I would personally accept Donald Trump's payroll tax plan, right? Um, Even though there's tax liabilities that come with it, but I would take the payroll tax plan. I'm going to break down and show you why. And assets that you need, right? Assets that you need to get richer in this current economy, right? I hope you all do know that by October, we, when I say we, the United States, will never look the same economically for months and years to come. So we have Lee Brown in the room. Hello, Lee, aka Les Brown. Right, we got Lee, aka Les Brown, in the credit and cash flow room as we have 1 minute and counting. Richmond, California is in. Hello, Richmond, California, right? Hello, Sonia. Hello, Sonia. How are you tonight? Hope everything is fine. Antoinette Payne, hello. Welcome to the credit and cash flow room. So we're coming in. We have 1 minute, 67 seconds and counting. So let me go ahead, since I did not start on time, and get these articles up, right? So we can go directly into the conversation as the timer is still ticking down. So just come on in. And if you're watching the replay, right, you're watching this on the replay, say hello, drop your city and state as well. We have 38 seconds. So if you're in the replay, say hello and drop your city and state the same as well. As Michael says, never the same. A economy will never be this ever, right? When you have any conversations in comparison to the Great Depression, right? You know that we as a country and a nation is headed economically down a path, right, that will never change again. I really think this is something like the Great Depression that will go down in the history books as our timer has ended. 5 minutes of fame is up to drop your city and state, right? So let's get right into the topic as Angela came in and was able to represent Jackson, Tennessee is in the house, right? So Angela, Miss Barnes represent Jackson, Tennessee. Some more people. Chattanooga, Tennessee is repping tonight. And Hampton, Virginia as well. Hampton, VA, Hampton, Virginia as well, right? So on yesterday's live stream, right, shared this information with you all that President Trump executive orders, right? President Trump executive orders could leave Americans with substantial tax liability, right? And provided a breakdown for you and a chart. So let's blow up that chart for you that gave some examples of income and the tax liability as a result if people at these income status would select, right, would select to participate in a payroll tax holiday. All right, I have someone on Periscope says he's just cutting Social Security. All right. Nonetheless, this is the chart. This is the breakdown. So let's look at the numbers, right? Because one thing you can be assured of that men lie, women lie, right? But numbers do not lie. Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. So I'm trying to get that. Let me change this size a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna try this size. This might be a little better. Thank you coming right in with the $2.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. So appreciate you supporting the channel and my Jimbo 70 Jr., thank you so much for supporting the channel, the vision, knowledge, and the time that it takes to research and prepare for this. We also have Garcia Love from Mexico, right? Mexico in. Thanks for tuning in from Mexico, right? Thanks for tuning in. Glad to have you from Mexico. So again, let's get this breakdown. I got the chart as big as I could, right? It shows a gross, right? A gross income of $35,000, for example, right? A $35,000 gross income, in which the biweekly pay will be $1,346.15, right? Thank you, Benicy said it's better. BNC Home Solutions, another super chat. Thank you so much, Melvin Alexander. Thank you so much, my king, for that super chat. He said, I learned so much. I appreciate that. I'm humble. It's always good, right? That's a very biblical principle, that when someone instills knowledge in you, that, it's always good to pay it forward and to pay it back. And I thank you so much. And my prayer and request is that it returns to you and double the amount that it was given you and Jimbo, because as the number one book on prosperity states, right? As the number one book on prosperity states, in the measure you give, the same will be used to measure what is given back to you, right? So if you sow bountifully, where my Bible scholars in the room, right? You all can put hashtag credit church. If you sow bountifully, then you what? As I put my hashtag credit church, I'm gonna wait on you all to get that answer. My Bible scholars in the room, wait on you all to give that answer. If you sow bountifully, then what's the consequences of that, or the outcome of that, right? Universal biblical laws. Universal biblical laws. So thank you all so much for starting the live stream with your super chats, right? With your super chats. So again, if the income is $35,000, right, the biweekly pay is showing, according to this chart, which honestly, I think the chart is wrong. I never seen someone with a $35,000 income, but we are on Yahoo Money, whose take-home pay is $1,346. Well, I guess that's the gross. Every 2 weeks, right? Which would equivalent to approximately almost $2,800. But we're going to go by this chart anyway. All right. Yes, you're going to reap bountifully. You're going to reap bountifully. But if you sow sparingly, then you're going to reap sparingly as well, right? But let's go by this chart, right or wrong, we'll go by it. And so the increased pay period, according to this chart, will be $83.46, right? Every pay period, which is biweekly, every 2 weeks. So the tax bill, according to this chart, would be $751.15. Now, if the income is $50,000, according to this chart, the biweekly pay will equal $1,923. Increased pay period, $119.23. The tax bill due in 2021 showing $1,073.08, right? An income of $75,000. The biweekly pay $2,884, or the gross, according to this chart. The increased pay period would be $178.85. The tax bill, right, $1,609.62. Now, the income, looking at $4,000 biweekly pay, will show an increased pay period of $248, which is equivalent to $500 more a month, right? $500 more a month. However, according to this chart or this outline, it will increase a tax bill or the tax bill to $2,232. Now, this is why me personally, right, I would be able to take advantage of this is because I have a home-based business, right? I could get more taxes from the Social Security and Medicare, and also pay less taxes in federal as well, right? Let me say that again. So I could get at least on average 12 to 13% more out of my paycheck, and I could offset the tax liability because now I have 475 tax deductions. See, what many people don't understand, let me move my chart, is that in order to acquire financial freedom, you have to shift your paycheck into passive income streams, right? You have to shift, or you have to move, you have to maneuver, you have to strategize your paycheck. If you are a employee or a person that's an independent contractor, or you have an LLC, right? You work alone or you're self-employed. Why? Because you are in the highest tax brackets. That's why the rich and wealthy do not get jobs. They do not want to be or will not be in that tax bracket. They will not have their money being taken away at 30 to 40 cents on the dollar, right? They will not labor for income. They will leverage for cash flow. Let me say that again. The rich and wealthy will not labor for income, right? They will leverage for cash flow. And I want you all to ask me, say, Queen, how do you know this, right? Excuse me. How do you know that the rich and wealthy will not labor? They will not work for an income. See, it's the difference between income and cash flow, right? There is a difference between income than cash flow. And let me break down these differences. Cash flow is taxed lower than income, right? Move my chart because I may teach tonight. Let me see. Cash flow is taxed lower than income. That's the number one thing that in order to obtain financial freedom, you must understand. All right. That's okay, Jesus. I started late, right? I started late myself, and I didn't start at the time that I wanted to start, right? At the time that I wanted to start. So let me just type this in a note. I'm not going to write tonight. Cash flow is taxed lower than income. That's one of the reasons why the rich and wealthy, right, will not work for money, right? That's why the rich and wealthy will not work for money, because they understand that cash flow, right, is taxed lower than income. And see, if you're always, or you're only earning money through a paycheck and you never get passive income, you'll always be in a cycle, right, in which you are not free financially. That you have to sacrifice your highest thing, which is your time, your talent, right? And you will never be able to retire in true financial freedom, right? Now, another reason why the rich don't work for money is because they understand the importance of working within a network, within a team, right? And cash flow can be earned collaboratively. I'm typing it in. I think I spelled it correct. If not, you'll get it. Cash flow can be earned collaboratively, unlike your paycheck, right? Unlike your paycheck, because let me show this. Okay, cash flow is going to see if it's going to show this. Show cash flow can be earned collaboratively, right? Which means they understand the power of network marketing and teamwork, right? Your paycheck or your income must have your personal labor performed every single time in order to produce a paycheck or in order to produce cash, right? The last or the third reason why, if you all are taking notes, right? If you're taking notes, that the rich always works for cash flow and not income, aka a paycheck, is because I'm typing in. Cash flow appreciates with time, income depreciates. Right? The rich and wealthy never invest in depreciating assets, right? The rich and wealthy never invest in depreciating assets, never. So they understand that cash flow, right, appreciates with time, whether they are investing in real estate, whether their cash flow is through a business model, right, a business concept. And I have a special guest that's a multimillionaire that I'm going to bring on in a few minutes that's going to break that down for you. But there are some hot topics in the economy that I want to discuss to further inform you and to help you prepare, and to let you know that unfortunately, right, this economy is getting worse and not better. This first article I'm going to share with you, it says, a very eye-opening article. Okay. The United States debt is set to exceed the size of the economy next year, right? For the first time, it's expected to, it's set to, right, to exceed the size of the economy for the first time since World War II. The shrinking GDP, which is gross domestic products, meaning that the products that we produce versus the consuming or the consumption or the purchasing of these products, right? You're welcome so much. You're welcome so much. Appreciate you, right? Is exceeding at this point. Exceeding at this point. So, the first time since World War II, people, that's an eye opener. Our federal debt is projected to exceed 100% of our gross domestic products, right? Our national debt. So our debt has reached its highest level compared to the size of the economy, right? Compared to the size of the economy since World War II and projected to exceed next year. The Budget Office stated this today, that the federal debt held by the public is projected to exceed what we are producing, right? Our GDP, gross domestic product. So we have more debt than we have producers and people in other countries, as well as our country is buying the products. So what's that's going to lead to higher prices, right? Higher taxes, right? And mass jobs layoffs. Mass jobs layoff, right? So another hot topic is United Airlines plans to lay off more people than originally projected, right? United Airlines is planning to lay off more people than originally projected, right? So let me share this with you. This information is new, up-to-date news as well. So the projected numbers was 16,000 in staff, right? And this is why I am encouraging you all. I come before you all faithfully as I can, because there are still some people who are oblivious to the fact that this will look like the Great Depression. And starting in next month, probably in 4 to 6 weeks. It's already started, but it is October is going to be a month for the history books, right? So it announced today it plans to cut an additional 16,370 people or staff, right, as part of its efforts to have its domestic workforce, and due to the coronavirus and what's going on in their economy. People are not traveling. The cuts, which are involuntary furloughs, means worker can be called back only if the demand resumes. It's not looking like the demand will resume. So this is a short of 36,000 potential job losses, right? 36,000. And a lot of these are including employees who had already taken voluntary retirement and extended leave packages in the recent months. And so most of these workers will leave when the federal financial aid has expired for United Airlines. Now, when I got into this, I also saw today that, see if I can find that article, that Ford and GM time is coming up because they receive federal aid, right? Okay, General Motors and Ford, right? Because these two companies out of Detroit receive federal aid to produce ventilators, right? And now that federal aid is ending as well. That federal aid is ending as well, right? So, look at my comments. Detroit automakers near the finish line of the COVID-19 ventilation push. GM, Ford Motors to fulfill federal contracts for tens of thousands of machines for the sickest patients. So people, you have companies like United Airlines, GM, Ford, right, that receive federal aid in order to stay afloat, in order to still have their workers working and receiving income. And now that aid is about to expire. So this is Detroit's two largest automakers that are nearing the completion of their federal contract to manufacture these ventilators, right? Ford Motor people are expected by late next week to have made about 43,000 of these ventilators, along with partnership with GM, General Motors. However, that these companies had a $336 million contract with the federal government to produce these ventilators, right? And now that is ending. And now the question is, what will be the future of Ford and GM? Because up to date, that was the only thing that was keeping employees employed and up the float, because new vehicles were not selling, right? New vehicles were not selling. And so you're looking at all these jobs layoffs. You're looking at these contracts, the PPP loans are coming up. And you're looking at an economy that will not be the same, right? I also just read that New York governor is cutting out 20% out of the educational budget because of the low income. So that means, right, if schools can't open or reopen, traditionally, some of the jobs that's not so on demand for virtual learning could be cut, right? Could be cut because they're putting money out of their educational system into other areas of the state. And that's just not New York, right? I tell you, I work with the public school systems as well. I've always been preparing for this. And so, shout out to the teachers who are putting their life on the line if they are not open up virtually, if you're not working from home. And also if you're in the public school system and you are a teacher and you are blessed to work from home and not to be exposed in this health pandemic, right? Then you should be positioning yourself to make more money from home as you're working from home as a public school teacher. One of the things I can tell teachers is, because they have a degree or two, or maybe three, right? They think they know financial education, and they don't know financial education. They know specialized education, which means whatever their subject knowledge is, their content area, right, to produce in the public school system. But they do not have a financial education. They don't have a financial IQ. They don't know how to use credit to invest. And this is not to contradict them, but I've worked with them from specialist degrees to doctor's degrees to master's degrees to GEDs to no degrees. And it's all from six-figure people that make six figures to people that make 5 figures income, right? And it never fails. They don't know what I'm teaching you all about the difference between cash flow and income. They don't know how to use debt to get richer. They don't know the difference between liabilities and assets. They know how to look at the numbers on their credit report, but they can't analyze and read a credit report. And why? Because they don't teach this stuff in school. You don't learn this in school. Jim Rohn says formal education, right, will make a career for you, but self-education will earn you a fortune, right? Informal or formal education will earn you a career, but self-education can earn a fortune. And many of them are not open-minded and even humble enough to want a better financial IQ and a financial education, right? So a degree does not make you smarter or more financially set for financial freedom than a person with a non-degree or a high school degree or a GED, right? In most cases, it just makes some people more in debt and live paycheck to paycheck, right? And so I talked about the difference between cash flow and income. I told you all I had a special guest, a multimillionaire, that will break that down. So let me invite him in the room, right? I thought this was the best way to share this knowledge today. And so for me, right, and after you hear this presentation, you'll understand why that even if I was in, and I don't know if the job that I have, and let me tell you all something, I have enough right now in passive income that it matches my take-home pay for my job and for teaching, right? But because of my own personal beliefs, because of me building my immunity and doing things to remain healthy, I can walk in to work with a different posture and no fear of this quote unquote virus, right? Because of the reading and research, right? And so for other people, however, that is not the case. That's not the case, right? So let me share this screen with you all. Thought this was a very powerful video. I know you all thought I was going to have him in live, but unfortunately I can't afford Robert Kiyosaki's time right now. So let me pause this and see how this looks. And I'm going to ask you all to pay grave attention to what this video is teaching you, right? What it's sharing with you.
The other thing the poor don't understand is the number one expense for most people is taxes. And yet we don't even see it. Isn't that weird? You walk around and you look at the paycheck and say, that doesn't seem right. And you don't realize that the government's got a huge hand in your pocket and you are.
Okay, he said, because it was kind of freezing up. He said, people don't even see you walk around, you look at your paycheck, right? You look at it, you see the taxes being taken out. You see your other payments that's been taken out. You see the insurance and other things, right? And you know what? Unfortunately, we're at a time where we have a lot of people that don't look at their paychecks. They just see their deposits. Some people have direct deposits. Direct deposits have so watered down for people that they don't even look at their pay stubs anymore to actually see what taxes they have coming out, right?
The other thing the poor don't understand is the number one expense for most people is taxes. And yet we don't even see it. Isn't that weird? You walk around and you look at the paycheck and say, that doesn't seem right. And you don't realize that the government's got a huge hand in your pocket and you are doing nothing to minimize that. Again, this is what's very different about the rich and the poor.
Well, the reason the rich don't work for money is number one expense is tax. See, there's three kinds of income: earned, portfolio, passive. So earned income is if I get a job, that's earned income. If I'm a doctor or a programmer, that's earned income because I'm working for it. If I buy let's say Apple for $10 and I send it for $20, that's portfolio income, capital gains.
Yeah.
But passive income, which is cash flow, is never taxed.
Okay, I'm not sure if you all can hear that. I think my internet is buffering, it's not as loud. But he says passive income, right, which is cash flow, is never taxed. See, this is what you don't learn in school. This is what you don't know, right? The three types of income: the earned, portfolio, and passive income. Earned income is a paycheck. Portfolio income will come in the forms of stocks, capital gains, real estate house that you flip, right, and fix and flip and sell, or forex trading. Those are examples of portfolio incomes, capital gains. But passive income is the only type of income stream that is not taxed, right? That's not taxed.
It's never taxed. So it's not, and so these guys are screaming right now in America, tax the rich. I said, good luck. Because most of the guys complaining, they don't know there's three kinds of income. And the rich don't have jobs anyway. They have assets. And so the average.
All right, he said something powerful again. The rich don't have jobs. They have assets. They have assets, right? The rich do not have jobs. They have assets. This is what separates the people that can live paycheck to paycheck or people that earn a paycheck. I am never envy of anyone that has a paycheck. I don't care how big the paycheck is. I never envy that because I understand the power and the purpose of passive income, right? I don't care if you're a six-figure income earner, I am never envy of your paycheck ever. Because I understand that you're taxed higher, which means you have to work 3 times as harder, right? And that if you don't produce the personal labor every single time, you will always be in a rat race. I'm never envious of a paycheck, right?
Schmo out there, poor guy, sent the kid to school. They don't learn this. So that's why in fake, as you were talking about it, there's a newspaper article about Jared Kushner, and he explains how the Trumps and the Kushners don't pay taxes and make millions of dollars. And the reporter couldn't understand him because our schools will never teach you that 3 types of income.
And they judged him and say they're wrong and it's cheating. And we see that over and over again. Amazon not paying taxes. What do you say to people when they come up to you and say, Robert, it's not fair. It's not fair they're not paying taxes.
Well, there's always 3 sides to a coin, heads, tails, and the edge. So which side of the coin are you on? From my side, it's fair. But this is the difference. Everybody can do the same thing I do because the tax laws are for everybody. We don't say, well, the tax law is only for the rich. No, the tax laws are for everybody to use if you have the right financial education. And the reason I'm an advocate of financial education, without that education, you have to pay taxes. You see, very few people will buy what I do, make $1 million and pay 0 tax. That takes, and my rich dad taught me that playing Monopoly. That's how it started, 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. Or the McDonald's formula. I write about it, McDonald's, Ray Kroc.
Yeah.
McDonald's is in the real estate business. So they sell hamburgers, but they buy real estate, so they pay no taxes. This guy Bezos, he's $16 billion. How much tax do they pay on that $16 billion?
All right, another thing I want that to stand out. He said, how much tax did they pay on $16 billion? 0. It was not until Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, till he understood the difference between operating a business or working alone. See, Ray Kroc went to the McDonald's brothers and wanted to franchise McDonald's. The McDonald's brothers was totally against it. They were happy in that one location. They were happy with the system that they built, but Ray Kroc had a bigger vision. And so he finally convinced them, right, to franchise McDonald's. And Ray Kroc, working solo, he had to individually help. He had to sell McDonald's to other people to get them to open it and believe in it. Then he had to check up to make sure they was running the operation according to the franchise rules. And he had to oversee every location. So he created a job for himself, was still broke, still struggling, still living paycheck to paycheck. And it wasn't until he went to the bank and he asked the banker for a loan, right? Because he had put his house up, a loan against the house, in order to keep producing or creating these McDonald's franchises, right? And the banker would not approve the loan. And so just so happened, an attorney was next to him and overheard the conversation. And the attorney followed him outside the bank after he got denied for the loan and said, your problem is you think you are in the burger business, right? But you are in the real estate business, right? And this is why I so adamantly tell people, I'm not against anyone wanting to do their own independent business, their LLC, their S Corp or C Corp. But if you don't have it set up in a way in which you can get passive income, You're just going to be a self-employed, and you're really no different than an employee. You're just self-employed. And a lot of people brag about, I'm self-employed, I work alone, or I have a very small staff that works under me. However, now you've just given yourself another job title, more duties, right? And you have people working under you in the business. You can, but you don't have people working for you within the business. Let me re-say that again. You can have employees, right? But I would prefer to have experts. I'll say it that way. I would prefer to have experts over employees. Right. Now, in the home-based business I'm affiliated with, right, we have experts that help people with their tax withholding for their paychecks to get more money out of their paycheck. Exactly what President Trump is doing right now with payroll tax holidays. In the ad, 475 more business tax deductions versus only 15 with the employee. It's like having 15 rounds in a rifle versus 475 rounds, right? It's like an AK, versus a hand pistol or something. That's the ammunition that you have. So you have experts working for you versus employees. So you don't have to cut the experts a paycheck. You don't have to handle the situation when for an expert to call in sick. That's not your situation. You don't have to handle the overhead, right? Managing people for a business is just as hard as managing the business alone. So that's the difference. Now, if that is your purpose, I understand that, right? I do credit consulting, but I don't want to be in the business of managing people. So I do it solo. But I have passive income streams, right? To offset that, and I have an exit plan in which my passive income stream exceeds my credit consultation income, then I'm out of credit consultation. Because again, in order for me to get paid in my credit consultation, I have to perform the work every time, right? And I want financial freedom. That's my end goal, right? That's my end goal. So now I'm partnership or network with experts and not employees, right? And so let's finish this.
Zero.
And that's all legal. Anyone can do it.
Everybody can do it.
But most people lack the education.
Correct.
So Jared learned about money when he was a kid by
Correct.
watching his father, by watching these people invest in real estate, and said, wow, not only do you get to make the money, you get to keep the money. That's a big problem a lot of people don't understand. Look how much money I made, but how much did you keep? Because that could be
How
half.
much tax did you pay?
Right. People look at how much money they make. You should be looking at how much money are you keeping, right? Most people look at how much money that they make. You should be looking at how much of this money am I keeping? And that's why I can participate in President Trump's executive order for the payroll tax holiday and still not be a victim of this high tax income. Listen, people, within 6 months, your taxes are going to be so high, right? On your April 15th filing for 2021, if you don't understand what's still in your wealth, 2021 is going to show you. It's going to teach you. If you don't have time to look at that paycheck, for all the people that got their unemployment stimulus at $600, which none of it was taxed, and they are accustomed to $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 tax-free fund, they're going to understand taxes next year in 2021 now more than ever, right? Just point blank.
Right, what tax did you pay? And so you always say this is the law. The law is true for every citizen. You can do it, but most people just don't do it. Sometimes, like you said, they don't have the education, but you need to have a plan if you're going to go do risky things.
Well, it's not risky. I mean, to me, what's risky is having a job and paying taxes.
Wow.
Let me say this. Taxes are incentives. The reason I get tax breaks for real estate is because I provide housing. I get tax breaks for providing jobs. I get tax breaks for providing oil. I get tax breaks for providing food. But most people see me as a crook. I'm not. The U.S. government wants me to provide housing, wants me to provide jobs, wants me to borrow money, because that's how money is created through debt, and provide oil and food. I get huge tax breaks. Everybody can do the same thing if they had the financial education to do it. If people understood the tax code, we'd be more prosperous.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Right? Because more people would be entrepreneurial.
Correct.
And creating things that would help the economy, starting jobs, creating jobs, starting companies.
We got starvation all over the world. Just provide food. You provide food, the government gives you a tax breaks.
Okay, so he said once you provide business and services, the government gives you tax breaks. So the answer is not more jobs, it's to get more people to shift their paychecks into passive income. That's step one. I put in my video, let me see, what did I title it? Assets that pay now. Your first asset, in my humble opinion, should be a home-based business, right? It should be a home-based business because that's what I was talking about. The 475 tax deduction. See if this is right. When you have this cash flow quadrant, right? The cash flow quadrant, and I don't think this showing up too bright, but employees, solo, self-employed people, they're in this side, the left side, right? However, you got people that are business owners or a part of a home-based business, and they become investors, right? Then they're on the other side of the quadrant. Now, I'm gonna make this real simple for you tonight. If you don't understand this, you can just put on this side poor and this side rich, right? If you don't understand this, if you stay on this side, you always live paycheck to paycheck. And the best way to do it is through a home-based business because the startup cost is low. And you need to get a financial education. I was thinking today, the reason why I can't teach a lot of people how to use debt to get rich is because people they listen to broke people. They listen to people that's on the same income status and apparatus that they are. They don't research and read what the rich and wealthy do. And so when you tell them you can use debt to get rich, their subconscious mind usually taps into, I don't want to be debt. I want to be debt free. Do you want to be debt free or do you want financial freedom? And the reason why they seek to be debt free is because they purchase liabilities and not assets with debt. And those liabilities be kicking their butts. When they don't want to get out the bed and go to work, they have to think about their house note that's taking money out of their pockets. They have to think about those vehicles that's due, that's taking money out of their pockets. They have to think about their children that's taking money out of their pockets because they don't understand how to get $12,400 back for their children, and they don't understand how to convert your child from a financial liability, right, not an emotional liability. And for some parents, there might be an emotional liability, right? But they don't understand, they don't have the education of how to convert their children from a financial liability to a financial asset through a home-based business, right? For pennies on the dollars, things that you don't know or can't do oftentimes with the LLC, right? Second thing, benefits of a home-based business is you get to write off in-house tax deductions. You have bills anyway. So you have to convert your bills out of a liability where it's taking money into your pocket into an asset, right? Into an asset where the money that you're spending out on your rent or your mortgage or your bills and utilities and cell phones can come back to you for tax season, right? And so this is why the Bible says the poor will be with you always, because people do not want to get a financial education, right? They want things given to them, right? They want things handed to them. Well, those days are gone, people. Either you learn the game and the direction that our government is going, right? Or you will be struggling financially, which will then bring you emotional and sometimes physical stress, right? Let me tell you something. A lot of teachers are complaining about the situations of returning back in those environments. And it's the reason why a person would put their health on the line for a paycheck and be in fear at the same time, right? You have people that's in fear that feel like they're putting their health on the line, that they're exposing themselves to dangerous situations, right? But they're not doing anything about it but complaining. That's why I said in my affirmation beginning video, I'm attracting people who are creative versus complainers, people who hustle versus hate, and people that focus on prosperity and not poverty. So you focus on poverty when you come on my channel talking about will they pass the stimulus, right? The Republicans should have did this. The Democrats should have done that, right? Not looking at these people as multimillionaires, which they are. You're looking at them as Republicans and Democrats. I saw this powerful post. I don't know if I can find it. I don't know if I shared it on Facebook. But it was powerful. Yeah, I may can find it because I saw what. Let me put it on my page and then I'll share it with you all. Well, I can't find it. But I shared it on my YouTube. Erica Williams shared it on her YouTube channel, and I shared it from her. But it pretty much, oh, here it is. Pretty much had this model. Or this meme, I'll say it this way. That the people that want to come on and talk about voting and et cetera, et cetera. Archie says, gotta learn to play the game. Yeah, just can't sit on the sidelines and hate, right? And some people, they're not even in the sidelines. They're not even in the stands. They're outside the arena listening to what's going on, and they're locking themselves out of that American dreams. They have applied for an e-idea as their own business, sole proprietorship at least. I hate sole proprietorship. It is so highly taxed as well. And oftentimes sole proprietorship, they're not covered as they need and protected as far as their liability and insurance go. But sole proprietorship, just like an employee, is the worst tax bracket that you can have. And you know, again, taxes is people's biggest expense. If I gave you a job offer, right, and I told you I will pay you $20 an hour, right, but at the end of the day, you're only going to get 16 out of the 20. You would think that's highway robbery. You would want your full payment, your full $20. You should think that way about your job. You should think that way about your paycheck. So proprietors to tax. And so this spoke volumes to me. People are reaching for bread, saying voting is the answer, versus the key, which is getting a financial education and Black economics. And this is the stature of most minorities, right? This is the posture, right? Hello, Gigi, of most minorities. This is their only financial hope, right? So I'm logging off. I just wanted to come before you to let you know some assets that you need right now to create income, and that you will need to understand the difference between cash flow and income, right? Cash flow is passive income that's not taxed, and it's taxed lower because you need to keep all the money that you're making, all of it. Not 80%, not 70%, not 60%. Passive income, when I get paid through the home-based business, I get paid first. My taxes get paid last. That's not true of your paycheck. The second asset you need that can create you cash flow in this economy is credit. All right? Gotta get used to, if you want financial freedom, using credit, the bank's money, the other people's money, not your money. Why not my money, Queen? Because you're only getting 60 cents on the dollar. If you use your money, don't you all understand that when you save money, you're taxed? By saving money, you're not earning any interest as well. When you save money, you're getting taxed to save. Well, how's that, Queen? You know, my money's just sitting in the account. How am I getting taxed when I save money? Right? It's called the silent income killer, which is inflation. Increasing of prices of everyday goods and services. So as your dollar sit idle and being stored in a bank account and it's not going to work, it's not working, you don't have it in income producing assets, you're saving for a rainy day, right? You are getting taxed. It's so true. Because your prices are increasing and the banks is not paying you anything to keep it in there. Right? Right? To keep it in there. Exactly. I am about to wrap this up. So this is my wrap up video. I'm going to share with you all. It's less than 5 minutes. And then
Dad, and I said, what do I have to do? And that's what my rich dad said to me. He says, you have to take a course in real estate. I said, real estate? Why? He says, well, 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. I said, yeah, but aren't you going to teach me? He says, I don't have time to teach idiots. You know? No, I want you to hear it. Rich dad really believed in education, but he didn't want to teach me. He says, that's not my job. Your job is to be a student. Then I'll teach you. So I signed up for a 3-day course. I was watching television in Honolulu, and I was still in the Marine Corps, and this ad came on about learn how to invest in real estate. Money, no money down. You don't need any money. I said, that's what I want to do. So I took the course, and it was exactly as Rich Dad said to do. You see, the beauty about real estate is you learn to use debt to get rich. I'll give you another tip. If you're going to be rich, you have to learn to use debt. It's called other people's money. So when I hear poor people say to me, I don't have any money. I said, because you're an idiot. That's why. You're not supposed to use your money. You're supposed to use other people's money. But that's it.
Well, that's it. All right. Leap Smith, thank you. So just tapped in and say, you looking good. Thank you so much. I am staying well. Jeanette Payne says there are 3 types of people: people that make things happen, people that wait for things to happen, and people that complain or say what happened. That's right. People, listen, the economy is changing. It won't be the same. Some people actually need this payroll tax, right, from Trump, because maybe their spouse has lost their job and got laid off. And the extra $200 would be, is keeping their household afloat. Let me tell you, if you get that increase, the very first thing you need to do is invest in yourself and invest in your family, so you won't have a tax liability next year. Because if you didn't watch this from earlier, right, you're going to see that tax increase next year. You got to keep more money in your pockets, right? And let me just see that. Archie says, of course, I am organized in C Corp, but a lot of people that just mow lawns or paint nails don't have their own LLC, right? And they're operating as sole proprietors, which means they don't have any protection against themselves. In the event that they crack a window, a rock bust a window while mowing the yard, or an employee, gets injured while working for them, or nails or paint liability, right? But you can have that insurance set up, which is not a problem. The problem is, or the issue is, that you still don't get the at-home tax deductions. And if your biggest expense is taxes, because taxes cause debt, then your next to biggest expense is inflation, right? Inflation is the second silent tax killer, the increase of prices. Then your third biggest expense is wherever you reside, because you pay bills out of that apartment, condo, or house. You have square footage that you could use to reside in and get residual income in. Listen, just don't get residual, just don't reside in the place. Get residual income from where you reside. Let me put that in. Get residual income from where you reside. There are some people that in the midst of COVID want to be safe and don't want to leave their house to make money, right? They want to be safe. You all please, Jesus is the moderator for the channel. If you can, exit out the live stream real quick. And if you're watching this on the replay as well, make sure that you hit the thumbs up. And so with an LLC, you're coming back home to somewhere that you reside in, that you can't even take advantage, that you possibly spend 8 hours or more of your time, that you won't be able to take advantage of additional tax deductions. A home-based business, people, is the only place that you can get $12,400 tax deduction from your children, not your lawn care or nail service, right? It allows you to do that. And you don't have to leave your home, or if you do nails or hair inside your house, you don't have to have strangers coming inside and out your home. Who wants strangers coming in and out their house during COVID? Right? It's high risk. So these are the transitions that's happening in the economy. If you want to learn more about the home-based business, so you can position yourself to get extra income from home and passive income, just send me a text. HVB to this number, 601-720-2063. If you want credit help, then also you can visit my website. Someone sent me a message today on Instagram that said they inquired, how long will it take you to get started on my credit? Some people, it takes them, a certain time frame. I said, no, that's not my situation, right? As soon as you submit payment and get those notarized documents, I usually get started immediately. So, interested in a home-based business, that's where you can text or you can visit my website. I also have home-based business. You need credit help to get your custom credit analysis. I had a person to ask me again today, what does the credit analysis cover, right? And in short, what the credit analysis is it gives you custom advice to help you build your credit. It's a very short explanation. The credit analysis not only provides you a quote, but it provides you custom advice on what you need to build your credit. So again, my website is www.fixmycreditincash.com. And also, I don't take random phone calls, so it would be a waste to call my phone. I will not answer. It's for text messages only, because credit repair, restoration takes a lot of mental time and focus, right? And I can't be answering random phone calls and keep the success of my clients that I need to get them the credit help as fast and expeditiously that I can. Is that a TI word? Did I say that correctly? Expeditiously? As TI says, Southern, right? Jesus, everyone, please exit out of the live stream. Okay, yeah. Thank you afterwards and return to the live. So, hey, I'm logging out. If some more breaking news comes tomorrow, I will be right here. So make sure you subscribe to me. Subscribe should be right where this finger is. Subscribe to my channel. I'm Queen of Credit. Hope this helped you. Here's to your peace and prosperity, your health and your wealth, your credit and your cash flow. So Archie, if you go out and make more babies, right? If you make 9 months, definitely you need a home-based business, because children are expensive, right? Expeditiously. Now, expeditiously, S-I-T-I. The T, he has the T-I in it. Let me put it up. Expeditiously. I don't have time for that. But anyway, I'm logging out. I see you all some more hot topic. You appreciate it as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Jesus says, Queen, just want to say every minute that you spend blessing us with your knowledge is true. Thank you so much, Jesus. And you all, as you water others, right? As you water others, you become watered as well. And so I appreciate you all for tuning in, because it helps me serve my purpose, right? And without you all, I couldn't walk in purpose. If I didn't walk in purpose, then I wouldn't have true fulfillment in life. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate the viewers as well. I appreciate you moderating, taking your time, and moderating the channel, right? Well, it may not be in the dictionary, but there's TI show, right? Thanks for everyone that took the time out to hit the like button and invest your money in profit daily. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people do. They focus on investing their money. Saving their money more than they do investing it, right? And if you're going to use the bank's money, people flip it to get cash flow and income. I'm going to tell you my passive income streams, which is real estate, my home-based business, is the most stress-free income streams that I'm ever receiving, right? That I'm ever receiving. So, hey, you all have a great night. Subscribe to this channel. I probably will be back live tomorrow, because it's always breaking news. Probably from here to October, I'm going to go live as much as I can without taking away too much time from my credit clients and my home-based business. Have a great night.